It's on full ground effect racing league. And we're away, and Nanu gets a pretty nice start ahead of Stay Daisy, but Stay Daisy looks like he's going to keep the lead through time. Well, the Ferraris collide in the background. There's off-white, there's one of the Alpines. I think that might have been maybe more leader, but the Ferraris got making contact. They're still side by side, the championship leaders, side by side into the North hairpin. And as they go on through the doorstep of Ferrari World, and there's chaos at the back with 3 wide in the background with the Mercedes and the Williams, and couldn't tell if that was maybe a Red Bull there as well, but the Ferraris are still side by side. Heading down the hill, we have the Haas on the inside of the Mercedes and Nanu. Nanu has a dream start. There's contact with Nanu though, and there's nearly a traffic jam there through turn 6 and 7, but the Ferraris making contact, barging each other. Proper British touring car action on the first lap between the 2 Italian Scuderia cars, as Gamer Steph and more leader are battling in the background. They'll try and cut start. There we go. They're heading round side by side through Master Corner, and also side by side with the Mercedes of Kieran Nag, and the better of the V-Carb drivers of Hazard at the moment. He's down the inside making contact. Kieran Nag has spun, and off wide for more leader, who's now going to let Hazard have a little snitch through, but he's not going to make the move. Second, there's contact in the background. The other V-Carb collides with the other Alpine of Suturek. That's not the best move, and there's Owen Bozzi getting wing damage. Meanwhile, Nanu still behind State Daisy. There's Alimony behind with the Ferraris. Don't know what they were doing on that start, but they made lots of contact on that first sector, especially. Even in the second sector as well, they were side by side for most of the lap there. Owen Bozzi out the session. That's his day done. Similar to Austria, just accepting his day's done. He's going to pull off to the side of the road. We have State Daisy, we have Thomas looking for a move on the inside of Nanu. Wait on the brakes, he's not going to make it stick though. Doesn't look like there's many other moves being made in the field at the moment. I'm just looking at the gaps, but can't see anything that's within 10th, and that's normally the battles that I go for, but there is something within a 10th, and it looks like it's going to be Thomas versus Nanu heading through Master Corner. There's contact between the Mercedes and the Haas, but the Haas dethrones the Mercedes of the silver medal. As they head round the first Barbican, Nanu says, "No thanks, Thomas, I'ma have that place back." Thomas says, "Nah, you're staying there, fella." Thomas takes the place back, heading under the hotel for the second time in this race. Meanwhile, heading up the order, we have the Ferraris ahead of the winningest driver in the league this season of Raza Gamer. Thomas takes the fastest lap after his move on the Mercedes. Heading around turn 1 though, for the 3rd time in this race. Jammy, Anatom and Raza. 3 Ferrari powered cars right by each other. We have the Williams as well. Freedom looking to get in on the action as well. We're going to cut to him as nearly contact there. There is contact with the Sauber Raza Gamer, it looks like, who maybe tagged the back of Jammy there, and that's going to leave him vulnerable to the Williams of Freedom in the 46 Valentino Rossi numbered car. So as they head into turn 6 and 7, we're going to have a look further back with the Williams. There's contact with the Williams. The Williams making contact with Raza. You can see them heading out of turn 7. Raza and Freedom making contacts heading out of turn 7. The Ferraris are back side by side though, heading down the straight, but they're not going to swap positions for a second time in this race. Surachak is overtaken by AJ Nolan in the very back of the pack. Head back down the pack. We have the Crow McLaren of Jack in this race. He's the only McLaren in the race. No, he's not. That's a lie. So we have a Crow McLaren and we have a default McLaren in the race, similar to was it LRL in the season finale at Saudi Arabia. We have 2 different looking McLarens on the grid today. We have a 3rd silver car on the grid, along with the Mercedes pair. That's yeah, we have Jammy and Raza getting very close together. Jammy can't afford to lose the place to Raza like he did in Las Vegas, because that was a gut-wrenching loss for him, and that cost him valuable points. It cost him a chance at leading the championship. So Yeah, he's going to be hopeful not to fall behind Raza again. So he's heading down straight. He's gasping for a bit of clean air there as he pulls to the side. There's a move there with the Alpine. That is all leader making the move on Gamer Man Steph. So Gamer Man Stephanie, there's a bit of a loose moment there for Kieran Nag, the second of the Mercedes cars, who's battling with the second most winningest driver in this league's season. As the Aston Martin are trusted, making a move on Hazard Titch. We have the Haas of Alpha Heated battling with the second of the Saubers of Liam Mack. And we have battling with Trusted still. We have Surachak and Nolan battling. Nolan's looks like he's made a mistake there. He's dropped a bit further back. We have a train of cars from 13th down to 16th. There's meanwhile up at the front of the pack. There's swapping between Jammy. No, Atom. Atom's fallen 3 places. Critical for the championship. As it looks like there could be a disconnection. There is reliability issues for Atom, and no, there isn't smoke out the back of his car. Instead, he's ghosted, and that's just as bad as a real-life engine failure. A disconnection, reliability issues plaguing the championship here in Ground Effect Racing League in Division 3. The Atom, the owner of the league, who has been owned by his own internet. Absolutely shocking. He's dropping places. He's going to lose a place to Steph now. This is like watching Charles Leclerc in Bahrain in 2019, where when he had an engine issue and just dropped places. Luckily he only dropped 2 places here. Atom has gone from 4th to 10th. But he has hope as Jammy's just been overtaken by Raza for the second time in 2 races. Raza jumps Jammy in a critical championship moment. Meanwhile, there's battling in the background there with Hazard Titch, more leader. There's Lloyd. Lloyd's made a mistake. He's dropped a couple places. But Atom here, this is painful to watch. As Atom gets passed by Kieran Nag, he's behind both Mercedes now. And he's only got 5 more places to lose. As Atom's back in the session, the reliability issues look like they could be sorted very soon. But that's going to play the championship massively. We're going to ride on board with that and see if we can spot the bit where he takes control of his car. This is drama. Absolute soap opera drama here for Atom. Can he rejoin? Because normally it looks like his car is not ghosted anymore. It looks like he's back in the race. But down, he went from 4th to 15th. Yep, he's back. Trusted. The Aston Martin spun. The Aston Martin and Trusted has spun from 12th to 18th. More leader losing places now as well. He's lost a place to Jack in the Chrome McLaren and the Williams. And nearly contact there with the Alpine, who holds the inside, heading through the first of the 2 Barbican sections, heading under the hotel on the outside. He's made the move stick. All has is the Chrome McLaren still there. He has made the move stick, heading through the second Barbican. There's into the pits for Jammy, taking that opportunity to pit very early. He just about makes it into the pits without speeding. Trusted gets a penalty. That's going to be horrible for him in this race. We have Atom passing his teammate, but he still has that pit stop to make, so it looks like Jammy's getting his pit stop out the way early to maybe do a Sergio Perez type strategy and get to the end. Trusted in the pits, speeding, and Trusted is now second retirement in this race in 7 laps. We nearly had a third with this man Jammy in the number 13, but luckily he's able to join back and fix his reliability issues with his internet. I think there's battle in the background there. There is the Haas of Alpha Heated versus Kieran Nag into turn 6. Alpha Heated, contact there with Kieran Nag, who tags the back of Alpha Heated. And that was very close up. It doesn't look like they have any damage, but they won't want to do that too much again. More leader catching up to Freedom. More leader having a great race here in Abu Dhabi. Up into 5th. that's where Jammy was a couple laps ago before he pitted as well. So that's great to see. Meanwhile, I think the closest battle on track at the moment is this battle between Hazard Titch and Alpha Heated. No, it's between Alpha Heated and Kieran Nag and Gerald Atom. Nearly round there for Hazard Titch, who twitches out of the hotel section into the second Barbican. As Kieran Nag looking for a move, not going to make it. Atom goes past him, up into 11th. The comeback is on for Atom. Kieran Nag, the third man to pit, is Surachak pits as well. Shucharak, should I say. We head into the North Hairpin with the top 10. We head down to the first chicane on this track, on lap 8, with the top 3 should I say, as Raza Gamer. After looking like a race for the Mercedes and for the Ferraris to win, it's turned into a battle between the McLaren, the Haas and the Sauber. And yes, there is the Mercedes and Anu there, but look how far back he is compared to the front 3. He's 8 tenths back compared to being 3 tenths or 4 tenths behind his nearest rival. But he does have a decent 2 seconds to a fast charging Nanu. We have Atom battling with Alpha Heated, the championship leader, making a comeback. He's around the outside of the master corner, nearly gets forced off by his fellow Ferrari powered car, the American car, versus the Italian car, the number 13 versus the number 41, heading round the hotel section. They nearly make contact, they do make contact, off wide goes Freedom in the 46 Williams car, who's made contact maybe with someone or just spun on his own. Either way, that is not a place to be parking, and he's now been overtaken. He's now gone so far down the order, he's now back behind his teammate. And Lloyd gets a penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Williams having a nightmare in this race on lap 9. We have Jammy going past Lloyd in the pits. We have Lloyd, Kieran Nag going past Lloyd. Lloyd coming out the pits under this nice tunnel section that I so very much love. We have Raza catching up to Tomas, two of the highest Ferrari powered cars on the grid, and they're both not branded as Ferrari. Kind of the customer cars, as you like, as Atom gets up ahead of Hazard Titch. Raza gets ahead of Tomas, heading into Master Corner on the outside, on the high side of the banking. He's battling with the Red Bull and the Chrome McLaren of Jack. We have Hazard Titch battling with Alpha Heater. We have Surachak battling with Lloyd into turn 6. We have this battle here with Hazard Titch and Alpha Heater coming out of the Master Corner at turn 9. Now round the first Barbican section at turn 10, 11 and 12. Yeah, this looks like the closest battle on track, this little train, apart from that battle right at the back of the grid. We'll cut to that. 16th and 17th are being heavily contested between Lloyd and Surachak. Heading through in this little battle of cars here, this looks very promising for a very entertaining race. We have also that battle up front with Jack and the Red Bull in 6th as well, Gamer Man Steph, who's ahead, as meanwhile into the pits comes Freedom after his spin. And we have Jammy going up ahead. The Ferrari separated by 5 places. Atom ahead at the moment, but Atom still needs to pit. And he suffered from that disconnection, so that could really ruin his chances. We're here with the Chrome McLaren and the Red Bull, very similar to real life F1. McLaren versus Red Bull being heavily contested. We have the Sauber and the Haas side by side nearly. We have Hazard Titch having a twitch, going wide, bouncing over the curb, not getting a lot of horsepower into the track compared to what Alpha Heated is able to do. And the Haas gets ahead of the V-Carb, and more leader and Nanu are battling. I think Nanu just got overtaken by more leader. He has drama for the Mercedes team in the championship. We have Hazard Titch ahead of this battle, ahead of Liam Mack in his battle, heading around the first Barbican. We head up towards the front of the field, who are currently going around the second Barbican, but Mole Leader, what a race he's having. He is on a charge on those hard tyres, similar to what Turbo Crest was able to do earlier in Austria. Really able to utilise those hard tyres compared to the medium runners and just chop his way through the field. He's gone up from about 8th to about 4th in the last 5 laps. And more leader. He caught up to Nanu's championship hopes are sliding away if he drops too many positions. Remember, Nanu is 3rd, and he has a reputation for destroying his tyres. But hopefully he can change that over these next few races in this great end to this championship. But heading into the chicane, more leader looking for another move. Not going to make it stick. We're going to have a look further back to this battle with Hazard Titch, who's got the kick salver of Liam Mack in a sandwich off to Toro Rosso cars. As more leader does get ahead of Thomas at Master Corner, just before Master Corner. Incredible. As the Williams are now the lowest cars on the grid after Surchek has passed into there. We have the Chrome McLaren behind the Red Bull heading out of Master Corner. We have more battling with the round for AJ Nolan. Another critical error for AJ Nolan that has hurt his race harshly. And the man who's racing here, there's a change on the V-Carb livery, didn't even realise that. That's yeah, the game has had an update and some of the liveries have been changed. Yeah, very, very harsh there. Meanwhile, Atom gets ahead of Jack, who's pitted. We have the Sauber of Liam at that V-Carb. AJ Nolan again. Another big error for him. He's a very quick driver. He just needs to make sure his mistakes aren't that punishing. I don't know how he would do that, but maybe just being a bit more careful on what limits he's trying to push. Because at the moment, he's kind of building an Andrea de Cesares type reputation from the mid-80s, where he's a really quick driver, but he's just not able to put the results on paper to prove himself as the driver that he is. Meanwhile, the driver who Liam Mack is the one who's going to take 9th place off Hazarditch, heading into the turn 6-7 section. Round the off-camber corner, gotta be careful here. Hazarditch holding what's left of the AlphaTauri points. But the Sauber of Liam Mack looking to nab that point. Remember, you get 2 points for 9th and 1 point for 10th. So they are literally battling over 1 more point each. We have a battle between Lloyd and the second of the Williams there. The second of the Alpines was Sutrek. There's not really much battling. So we have the Alpine, and into the pits comes Stay Daisy, who's led the entire race so far. As into the pits onto hard tyres for Stay Daisy. Meanwhile, we have more leader who could take the net race lead. This is very similar to F1 Esports in F1 2024, where we have 2 drivers up front going longer, battling it out. And we have everyone else pitting. Just look at the entire field pit, and critically, Atom pits. And he's come out in 14th, similar to where he dropped to after his reliability issue. Raza Gamer gets overtaken by more leader, and more leader will now lead more here in Abu Dhabi, as more leader leads the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix here in Grand Effect Racing League. Raza Gamer is looking to say no more to that leader. And is he able to take the position away heading into turn 9? No, he's not. Surachek losing places. What's happened? He's been DRS passed heading into turn 6. And he's disconnected. More reliability issues. This time it's for the Renault team, or for the Renault engine. And more leader gets a penalty. More issues for Renault and for Alpine. Not the best. There's Raza Gamer now in the net race lead after more leader's penalty. And heading into out of the first Barbican section, round the hotel and into the second Barbican section. We have this battle between Lloyd and Thomas heating up. We have that disconnected Alpine there with his Renault internet connection not helping him out at all. Obviously it's probably not Renault internet connection, but it's a shame we don't have Virgin racing team on the grid anymore, because otherwise I could make a load of internet related issues for the Virgin team if they had any disconnections, but alas, we move on. We have Jamie passing Liam Mack heading down the straight, leaving the North Hairpin, heading down to the south chicane, or the more southern chicane, shall I say. St. Daisy goes ahead of Kieran Nag into the 6th corner. We have, I think we might have battled in here with this 5-car stack of cars. We have Jake trying to catch up to Nanu, who's trying to hold off all these cars. After his pit stop, he's trying to gain places but not lose places. He has been the ultimate hunter and the ultimate hunted at the moment, as Razagamer overtakes more leader for the lead of the race. Game as Suracek as well, losing more places with his disconnection. Atom looking to try and get ahead of Gamerman Steph, but we still have this little 5-car stack that could determine everything for Nanu. Because if Nanu can clear those 2 cars ahead of him, then great, but if he tries to clear them and then loses out to this guy in the Chrome McLaren and that guy in the Williams, that would be awful. It's Liam Mack pits. That means Kieran Nag is up to 5th. That means Jamie's back up to the podium. Jamie, championship contender, up into the podium. He would take the lead of the championship if things stayed as it was. But Nanu isn't too far back. Nanu could still play havoc on Jamie, and Jamie was the first one of anyone to pit when he wasn't retiring. So Jamie's tyres are going to be finished. More leaders taking the lead back again. We'll cut to that in a minute. Small leader taking the lead, having a great race here in Ground Effect Racing League. Groundbreaking stuff, should I say. As the Williams gasping for clean air, we have this little 5-car stack. It's such a good race to watch at the moment, as the Sauber and the Alpine are still going at it, trading places like Pokemon trading cards that are heading down into Master Corner. We could have a trader position between 8th and 9th, and that trade will be done by Nanu and Jake, who's going to forcefully nab 8th place from the championship contending Nanu, and that means Jamie's lead over the championship would extend. Interesting, because GRL Atom, he's far back. More leaders finally come into the pits. Razagamer hasn't pit yet, I don't think. So that's going to be something to watch. Alpha Heated and Suchak, Shucharek, should I say, have swapped places after Shucharek's Renault disconnection, engine failure thing, whatever you want to call it. As Nanu looking to try and stay with this pack, but he's not. It doesn't look like he's got a lot of pace at the moment. I don't know if he's graining, or I don't know if he's just maybe holding back on ERS to push for later on, but he's dropping places like a pin, and he can't drop too many more. He needs to do what Jack is doing, who's going for the move on the inside of the Williams. They could be 3 wide. Yes, they are 3 wide into turn 6. And Nanu takes 1 position from the Williams. He nearly takes 2, but he has contact, and he's now ghosted. The Williams gonna lose 2 places, then gain them straight back again. Great race in between these 3, all for P6. Lloyd, the man who's won 2 races in this league, one of only 2 drivers to do 2 or more wins, but he's now lost P6 to Nanu, who's got back ahead. Lloyd gets a penalty for track limits. Hazard gets ahead of the reliability issues for the Alpine of Sucharek. What racing that was! That was rubbing, but just enough rubbing to be classed as rubbing as racing, in my own opinion. Wasn't too dirty, it just got a little bit clumsy, which can happen in racing. A little bit of track limits there for Gamer Man Steph. He can't do that too many times. Kieran Nag in the pits in the Mercedes. That means Nanu is the higher placed Mercedes car now. Atom back in the points. Critical for the championship. The championship leader back in the points and catching up to Freedom, as you can see in the background. Actually, I should probably go closer to him, shouldn't I? So we have the Williams. We'll see as he heads through the North Hairpin. Oh, he has a little rear end lock up, and that could have been a huge shunt. Atom nabbing his front wing off the rear, should I say, of Atom's car. They head down the straight into the chicane. We have nearly battling with one of the Williams, that is Lloyd. We do have battling with the second of the Williams, that is Freedom against Atom, the championship leader, battling one of the best midfield drivers on this grid. And as they head out of the chicane, They blast down towards Master Corner. Who's going to come out ahead? It will be the championship leader, who goes up into 9th place and helps himself out in the championship fight here in Abu Dhabi. I said it could be like 2012, and it's playing out like it at the moment. Very critical moves being made here for the championship. We have 12 races to go. We have Raza in the pits after a very long stint on those tyres that he's had since lap 1. He's pit, and Jammy's pit. Jammy doing a 2-stop race. That's it. Oh, okay. Yeah, Jammy in the pits for the 2nd time in this race. He's on a 2-stop strategy. Does that work, or is that a quote-unquote Ferrari strategy, otherwise known as a strategy that doesn't really work? I mean, he's lost track position for sure, but he's got 10 laps on what tyres? Let's see. I should have probably cut to him in the pit stop. He's on the hards. I don't know if he was meant to pick hards. I would have gone soft, so at least mediums, not hards. That is a wrong strategy for me. Well, let's see if he can make it work. I think that could be a strategic error. There is a battling massacre going on here with the Williams of Lloyd. It looks like he got shoved off the track. 3 wide, heading into Master Corner with Atom on the outside. It could be 4 wide as well. Look at more leader. 4 cars into Master Corner at once. Almost in grid formation. Atom takes 2 cars in 1 corner. More leader looking like he's going to take a little peck at this action. Down the inside goes Lloyd on the championship leader. He has nothing to lose. He has nothing to be fighting for. He just wants to have a decent result today, and he's showing it by that audacious move at the first Barbican section, taking Atom by surprise by fighting him back so aggressively. And also the other Williams of Freedom. This could be a Williams team play, you know, as Freedom and the other Williams is called right up to the back of this quadruple trio. We're heading round turn 1 for the 19th time. 10 laps to go in this race. Jammy, I reckon, I don't know if he's going to be able to use those hard tyres as well as he can. I don't know if that'll help him out in this race, or if he's just throwing away a couple points there, because he had track position, and around here that is very important, to be fair. But I mean, at least in the third, I mean, it used to be very important in the old layout. It might not be as important in this version. But heading down into turn 6 and 7, we have Atom passing the Williams. We have Jack passing the Williams. He spins. The McLaren spins at turn 6. He's over the grass, and that is not a nice way to be taking that chicane. And more leader has shown Lloyd why it's not nice to lose 6th place. And Lloyd is looking to take it back, but he's not going to get it into Master Corner. Heading round turn 9, the banking of Master, we have Raza Gamer who's the last one to pit apart from Jammy, who's the last one on the field. He's done a 1-stop. With 10 laps to go here, he's on those medium tyres. I reckon his strategy will work out better than Jammy's, but I could be wrong, because by the end of the race, those mediums can die off quick. So depending on how he treats them, that could be a right strategy, but it could also be a really wrong one, depending on tyre degradation. We have Freedom getting passed by Alpha Heated. We have Freedom in the pits. That's why he's getting passed by so many people. We have Raza catching up to the back of Jack here. We also have battling up towards 6th place, which we'll cut to when it gets good. We also have battling for 2nd place. I'm going to make sure there's nothing going on there. Heading down the straight. We have into turn 6 and 7 for Nanu and for Thomas. Raza and Jack battling as well. Raza's got ahead of Jack. As Atom goes side by side with Molida. Molida actually passes Atom, I'm pretty sure. Interesting, the Atom gets passed by the Alpine. I'm not done my words there, but I started out. As the Haas having a battle with the Williams in the background. That's Alpha Heated getting heated with Lloyd, who's having a bit of a battle. The Hasses are sandwiching the field here in this lovely little train, separated with a bunch of second and so gaps. It's incredible to watch, I must say. But and there's round I think there's an incident there. That is AJ Nolan, who's had a bit of an incident. As with 9 laps to go, Jake, as this battling with Jack. Jack's out! Jack's out of the race! He's out at the final corner! He's in the pits and he's just retired from the session. Interesting. That's not the best way to end your day. As round again for one of the Saubers, Liam Mack. Pirouettes out of turn 1. And for the second time on lap 21, we had drama for one of the drivers. This time it's the Sauber. It's always the Saubers and the McLarens that get it in D3. I've realised that. All the Red Bulls. Or the V-Cars. Or Thomas, who's got it from Nanu. Or Lloyd, who's got it from Alfa Heated. Or Jammy. Oh no, or Hazard, who's got it from Jammy. We're heading down into Master Corner. There goes side by side. That Haas versus the Mercedes. That Haas takes the German car, but the German car fighting back on the exit. Round the outside of Haas. Of the Haas goes Nanu. Great racing. I won't be too sex. I'm just going to go and have a little break of a sort. As I'm back, I'm better than ever. And we have down the straight, we still with Thomas and Nanu. It looks like nothing much has changed in the order. But apart from Liam Mack and Lloyd pitting, losing a bunch of places. I thought one of the Williams went wide there. No, I forgot it's the pit exit. But here we go, side by side again into Master Corner for the second time in a row on consecutive laps. Thomas gets ahead of Nanu this time at Master Corner. Look at Gamer Stev as well. I didn't even realise he's joined this battle and he's just invited himself into the party. It looks like he's fighting for the podium for the Red Bull. Something the Red Bull haven't really seen in D3 this season. As voice crack. As meanwhile we have the Sauber ahead of the championship runner-up at the moment. Atom though has jumped his teammate. His teammate, to be fair, has gone up to 9th, provided with a bit of drama and a few pit stops. But we are in the final push to the end now. So I in my own opinion, staying out would have been the right thing, because at least he would have had track position over Atom. But I don't know. It's a really hard one to call. What's not hard to call is who's going to win this race, because Stay Daisy has absolutely just gone to the Premier Inn and had a night to stay and chill out, because he's just chilled out the front today. He booked a one-way ticket to the lead today. He's been on pole. He's led since the start. I thought he got jumped at the start, but I was wrong to question his speed, because he has been the McLaren on form today, similar to what Oscar Piastri does nowadays in real life F1. On the outside goes Gamer Stev. Gamer man Stev, putting on a show as a gamer, gets ahead of Alfa Heated. Alfa Heated heating up the battle there. We have Kieran now going round the outside of Hazard Titch in Master Corner. As we head through the winding section under the hotel and onto the second part that goes around the Barbican. Otherwise it was the second Barbican complex. We have look at Jammy here, he's stuck behind 2 Ferrari customer cars, and then he's got his teammate to get past, who is the championship leader. And yeah, the Ferrari's battling for the championship here. Will Atom, because if Atom clears more leader, then that'll put more. I think if Atom clears more leader, it will definitely go the way of Atom. If depending on when Jammy gets past these two, I don't know. But I reckon Atom's going to be able to get more leader here. Jammy's going to be able to get the Haas and maybe the Sauber by Master Corner. but I just don't know if he's going to be able to get that gap down from, what, 2.3 seconds to Raza. But there's side by side, they're 3 wide nearly. Big moves being made by Jammy, who's really going aggressive on these new hard tyres. Raza holds his own. Jack leaves the session, so he's booked a flight home from Abu Dhabi to wherever he's in. Around the outside, up Master Corner goes Jammy. The Ferraris are 6 and 7. This could get interesting towards the end of the race. If that gap can close, then Atom will be in danger. But if Atom can clear more leader and maybe another car, it would help massively for Atom, because it would kind of, well, it depends if he can get out the dirty air long enough to clear that Renault engine now being in front of him. So it's really just a game of chess. Can Jammy utilise his tyres well enough to catch up to Atom, and can Atom maybe just be where he needs to be and fend off the attack from Jammy? But the Ferraris, who battled in the early stages of this race, are being set up in a way to battle towards the end. 1.9 seconds, that gap has closed to about half a second within about a lap, just under it. But more leader, almost being pushed by Atom round the exit of the North Hairpin. With DRS flying down the hill into the chicane. 5 cars braking. There's contact with the Red Bull. Nothing much coming of it. It looks like Atom might have more straight line speed as he has DRS. Jammy doesn't have that luxury, and he actually has Raza Gamer having DRS on him as well. But Jammy making this strategical work, which I didn't expect. You know, you can expect a lot of things in F1, but to me, that wasn't something I expected. I thought this was going to fail miserably, and he was going to stay in 14th, but he's actually made his way through the field. But can he make his way past this guy, his Ferrari teammate, the guy in the same exact car as him, just with a different number? It's the number 13 in P6 versus the number 99 sliding in P7. So you can see he's heading around the last corner here. This is Jammy up ahead of him. Look, he's closed that gap down, to be fair, in that last sector. That last sector is where it makes all the difference. But then in that back section of the track, with the straights on the exit of the North Hairpin and the straight before Master Corner, Jammy's in DRS range. Look, this could be the turning point for the 2 Ferraris. Meanwhile, we have Nanu putting on a show. He's trying to catch up to Thomas, but then he has the Red Bull of Gamerman Steph behind. Then he has more leader behind. Then he has Atom behind. Atom needs to clear more leader now, otherwise his teammate's going to be bearing down his neck. Into turn 6, he's not going to be able to make the move there. Jammy nearly to the back of his own teammate. That would have been awful to explain to his colleagues back at Maranello. Look at that gap. That is about 8/10 of a second between the 2 championship contenders. But Nanu could take a massive sweep in the championship. It would help if he got ahead of Thomas. But at the moment, he's in a great place to just get right in the party with the Ferraris. Do a Brackley break-in to the championship fight. So while the Ferraris are squabbling over themselves, Nanu could be taking home a big haul of points, provided he keeps his car in a straight line for 2 laps. Which is something that State Daisy will want to do as well, because State Daisy, nearly 10 seconds ahead of the car nearest behind him, which is Thomas in the Haas, who's leading this massive train of cars. It's almost a Trilly train, or you could call it a Thomas train. Heading round turn 2, the Ferraris are next to each other. They could be going side by side. Heading down out of the North Hairpin, they head into turn 5, lay on the brakes, and into the back of the Alpine for Atom. Atom hits the Alpine ball leader, and that is awful. Jammy does get ahead of Atom, but Atom, that is such a shameful ball leader. He was having such a great race, but in desperation for the championship, Atom gets distracted under pressure and is now battling with Raza Gamer, who's now on the outside of him at turn 6. What a move by Raza Gamer to get ahead of the 13. The 13's never been a lucky number in F1, and is showing it again here in Grand Theft Racing League. As Atom losing out to Jammy, but Nanu still has a great chance to steal the show. Atom losing a lot of places. He's now down in 7th. He missed his braking point in turn 5. And I think he went to go for the inside. He thought there was a gap there, but it just wasn't there. It was too late. It was almost like that incident in the European Le Mans series, which happened yesterday as I'm recording this. On Sunday, the is it 14th of September, and the European Le Mans series, there was an incident between the United Autosports 22 LMP2 Pro-Am car and one of the LMP3 cars, and I think it was like the Vale chicane, and it was very similar to what just happened to Sergio Atom. Meanwhile, his teammate does the Max Verstappen move down the inside of Max Verstappen's Red Bull RB20. Atom looking to get redemption for his incident, his self-inflicted incident. He got distracted by the pressure, and he's now fighting with Raza Gamer. Raza Gamer, the man who's won 3 races in this season, the most of any driver this season in D3. As meanwhile, looking to the outside potentially for Nanu and Jamie, 2 other championship protagonists. These 2 battled with Raza Gamer in Las Vegas, and now Atom's battling with Raza Gamer here in Abu Dhabi. As Jamie nearly to the back of the Mercedes, he goes wide, and both Ferraris struggling under braking. Both Ferraris late on the brakes, and nearly, one of them did have an incident, the other one almost steaming into the back of the Mercedes. Both Ferraris under braking, struggling to stop the car. That's something worth noting, especially if you're one of the drivers in front of the Ferrari, because you might want to jump out of the way, because otherwise you might get rear-ended. As Lloyd gets a penalty for child limits. Won the final lap here on Ground Effect Racing League for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix in this thrilling race that has completely flipped the championship on its head. We have Jamie trying to battle with the Mercedes. We have one car separating Jamie from Atom as well. So Jamie's strategy has worked. Surprisingly enough, he's outsmarted me. He's outsmarted a lot of other people here with a subsequent 2-stop strategy. And now it's going to take him back up to the podium, to the bronze bar of the podium, as round the outside of the Mercedes for Raza Gamer. And unless Nadu can get traction out of the off-camber turn 7 and have a run into Master Corner, I don't think he's going to be able to do that one. But meanwhile, we have a look here with Stay Daisy, who's had great flashpoints in the season, notably in Austria with the Alpine squad, I'm pretty sure. He had a great race with them, but here in Abu Dhabi it's just that bit better, because he's going to come out the final corner after 29 laps of racing. He took the pole, he takes the win here in Abu Dhabi. Stay Daisy stays to the top of the grid and wins the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix here in Ground Effect Racing League. Thomas, after his Thomas train, wins 2nd place, ahead of the championship winning, of the championship leading Jamie now, if I'm not mistaken. He's ahead of Atom, who fell after his mistake. Then comes Alpha Heated, then comes Nanu, then comes Raza, Hazarditch, and then Freedom in the 46 car. More leader. Absolute kudos to him. Condolences to him, should I say, after his great race, leading for a bit. But he had a bit of drama that didn't go his way, but that is racing. So we are just waiting for the final car to go over the line. That will be AJ Nolan, who, again, very quick driver, but just not able to get it over the line in the places where he qualified. His consistency, if he can sort that out and limit his mistakes, he will be a great driver. But the man who's 16th today, that's probably 20 places lower than he should be, if I'm honest. But 20 places, should I say 10 places. Yeah, great race then. So that was Ground Effect Racing League D3. We have the videographer of Stay Daisy filming this great moment, the American on top for the first time since, in real life F1 anyway, since the Mario Andretti days. So great to see the land of the free the first man to cross the line on lap 29 of the Grand Effect Racing League Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. We have Jamie celebrating his championship lead takeover, which probably should have happened last race, but nonetheless has happened this race. And then we have the driver of the day being Alpha Heated. We have the most overtakes being done by Kieran Nag. The cleanest driver being Tom Oz, despite holding up a trolley train for the last half of the race. We also have Kieran Nag, who set the fastest lap, but then we have the pole sitter, Stay Daisy, who wins the race. Great stuff by Stay Daisy ahead of Tom Oz. Then comes the Brit of Jamie, who's ahead of the Dutchman in the Red Bull, Gamerman Steph. Then comes the Austrian of GRL Atom, the former championship leader, who's now fallen off his pedestal in his own Division 3 of his own league. Then comes Alvita, then comes Nanu, who had a great race but fell probably again down to tyre issues. And then behind that I think came, I'm not too sure. I've forgotten already, to be honest. Yeah, that was a pleasure to come and see on this race, and yeah, I'll have to see you all in the next one. Goodbye.